In the village of Kuyanbana, where the red earth clung to the feet of every passerby and hardship weighed heavier than the sun, there lived a girl named Safiya. Safiya was born into a life where smiles were rare and survival was a daily struggle. Her father had died when she was very young, leaving her mother, Mama Halima, alone with 3 children and no steady means of survival. Mama Halima worked endlessly, selling vegetables at the roadside, washing clothes for neighbours, and sometimes borrowing money she could barely repay. Still, the family went to bed hungry more nights than they ate. Safiya was quiet, observant, and unusually patient. She loved school, not because it was easy, but because it was hope. The blackboard, the smell of chalk, the feel of worn textbooks gave her a sense that life could be different, that there could be something beyond hunger and pain. She walked barefoot some days, her uniform torn, her stomach empty, but her heart full. Even when other children laughed and played, she focused on lessons and dreamed in silence. Her days began before the sun rose. She would sweep the compound, fetch water from the distant well, and cook meals for her siblings. Sometimes she had to wash dishes until her hands ached and her fingers were raw. Even when her body screamed for rest, she pressed on. At school, she tried to learn everything she could. She listened carefully, wrote neatly, and answered questions even when her stomach growled. When Safiya turned 12, Mama Halima made the most painful decision of her life. She sent Safiya to live with her elder sister, Aunty, a woman known across Kuyanbana for her wealth, sharp tongue, and unyielding demeanour. Aunty had one daughter, Bisola, a girl who had never known hunger or hardship, a girl whose smile was easy and whose pride was fierce. From the moment Safiya arrived at the house, she became an outsider. Aunty did not hug her. She did not offer warmth or kindness. "You will stay here," she said, "but remember, I am not your mother. You must earn your food, your place, and your worth." Safiya nodded and swallowed her tears. Life in that house was harsh. Every morning before the sun rose, Safiya swept the compound, fetched water from the far well, cooked meals, washed plates, and rushed to school exhausted. Bisola never helped. Bisola watched. And Bisola hated Safiya, not for being proud or loud, but for something far more dangerous. Safiya was gifted. Safiya discovered her gift by accident. One night, while repairing an old sweater with a loose wool, she noticed how her fingers moved naturally. Stitch by stitch, something beautiful appeared. From that day, she began to collect wool threads, torn sweaters, and old fabrics secretly. She could sew, not ordinary sewing, but creating art with her hands, dresses that carried stories of moonlit nights, village dances, and silent prayers whispered to the sky. Every stitch was hope threaded into cloth, but she could never create openly. Bisola was always watching. If Bisola found her work, she tore it, poured water on it, or told their mother lies about pride and misbehaviour. Aunty believed her daughter every time. Safiya was beaten, insulted, starved, but she did not stop. So Safiya learned to sew at night. When the house slept, when Bisola's snores filled the room and Aunty door was closed, Safiya sat on the floor with a needle and dim light. She stitched quietly, heart beating fast, ready to hide her work at the slightest sound. 5 times she did this. 5 beautiful wool dresses created in secret, each one more intricate than the last. Each one carried her silent dreams, her patience, and her courage. And 5 times she carried her work to her teacher, Mrs. Adebayo, a woman who noticed the bruises Safiya tried to hide, the hunger behind her smile, and the strength in her eyes. The first time Safiya showed her a dress, Mrs. Adebayo cried. From that day, a secret bond formed. Safiya would sew at night, hide her work in her school bag, and after school, quietly follow Mrs. Adebayo home. There, behind closed doors, they worked together, fixing stitches, strengthening patterns, and making each design more stunning than the last. Safiya lived in constant fear, but also in hope. Bisola noticed the quiet confidence growing in her cousin. Her jealousy turned into cruelty. She searched Safiya's room, beat her, mocked her dreams, and lied to Aunty Moreniki. Each time, Safiya endured. Each time, she sewed in secret again. Then came the announcement of a National Cultural Heritage Fashion exhibition. This exhibition was rare, held only once every few years, and attended by designers, collectors, cultural leaders, and government officials. Winners would receive scholarships, professional training, and nationwide recognition. Mrs. Adebayo knew immediately Safiya's work belonged there. They prepared secretly, night after night. Stitch by stitch, Safiya worked through exhaustion, hunger, and fear. Each dress was perfected. Her final piece was a masterpiece, a blend of tradition and creativity, of African heritage and personal pain. But Aunty Moreniki and Bisola would not let her go without one last attempt. On the morning of the exhibition, Aunty Moreniki sent Safiya to another village deliberately, just so she would miss it. Safiya begged, she explained, she cried, but Aunty Moreniki slapped her. "Go!" she shouted. Safiya walked the long dusty road, heart sinking, believing everything was lost. Every step felt like her dreams were slipping through her fingers. But destiny had already moved. Mrs. Adebayo had taken all 5 dresses to the exhibition and displayed them beautifully under Safiya's name. Safiya, Kuyanbana village. She had spoken to the judges, telling them nothing of the obstacles, only the brilliance of the work. When Safiya finally returned late, dusty, tired, and fearful, she was guided into the exhibition hall. Her work shone under bright lights. Judges, officials, and attendees gasped at the beauty and detail. Safiya collapsed and wept. Her teacher held her hand and whispered, "This is yours. You did this." The judges awarded Safiya first place. She received scholarships, professional mentorship, and the chance to study fashion design in the city. News spread quickly, reaching Kuyanbana. Authorities investigated the household. Aunty Moreniki was publicly disgraced, her business license suspended, and she was ordered to pay compensation for abuse. She was banned from guardianship of children. Bisola was expelled from school for her cruelty and misconduct. Mama Halima was reunited with her daughter, receiving support from the community she had never seen before. Safiya left the village, not in tears, but in victory. She trained, learned, and became a respected designer. She returned years later to build a fashion centre for young girls, teaching them skills, hope, and resilience. She spoke openly about abuse, jealousy, and perseverance. And when people asked how she endured, she said, "They tried to break me. They tried to destroy my work, but the gift God placed in my hands could not be taken." Safiya once sewed in darkness. Now the world sees her,